Lakers Heat game 1 of the NBA Finals has just ended, and let's get into my thoughts to it and the brief recap and reaction. Well, it's not the recap is a little brief, but we'll get to the recap a little bit later. But first, I want to talk about Anthony Davis. What a night he had! 11 of 21 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3, 10 of 10 from the free throw line, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 blocks, a plus 23 in the plus-minus scale, and had 34 points. What a night he had. I mean, it really did look like there was no one that could guard him. I mean, Bam did his best, but, no one really could stop him. One of the things that really impressed me was his mid-range game. His mid-range game is really good. I think he was averaging 58% during the playoffs. So from the mid-range, statistically, he's really good, especially in the playoffs. And tonight, he did not disappoint. He was in everything tonight. He was really, really good. And he was, I don't know what the he was really, really good, and I don't know what the solution is for the Heat. Maybe Bam just has a better game defensively in game 2. Bam, by the way, is a little bit injured, knocked up. His shoulder collided on a rebound, I want to say. And the x-rays, according to Malik Andrews, came back negative. He did not return to the game once the injury happened. But I'll get to it in a second about how the Heat are kind of, there are a lot of injury concerns. Goran is out for the series, which is going to be a huge loss for them going forward. It's looking really, it didn't really look good. Hopefully he's okay and, he can recover in due time. The next thing I want to talk about is the Lakers' three-point performance. What a night they had. If you look at the box score, it's 39%, which is still really, really good, but I don't think it illustrates the full story. In the first half, they were 11 of 17. Danny Green, he was 3 of 3. Caldwell Pope, he was 2 of 2. Oh, no, Danny Green was, I think 2 of 3, I want to say, not 3 of 3, from the floor in the first half from 3. I'll get to Caldwell Pope in a second, but Danny Green, it really seemed he turned a corner in that the second quarter. He was getting open shots because LeBron was getting doubled every time he drove to the basket. And every time AD was in the paint too. A little less doubles on AD. Maybe that's one of the solutions they go to. But again, the doubles don't really work. Because if they're shooting, again, they're not going to shoot this amazing from 3. But it wouldn't surprise me if they shoot in the upper, which they ended up tonight with 39%. It wouldn't surprise me if they shoot around 40% in the series. I know that's really good. And they're not typically a very good, Lakers not a very typical 3-point shooting team. But they're going to get a lot of open shots. Unless they go to something else, they'd make another, Eric Spoelstra makes another adjustment. It really looked like the Lakers just dominated this game. At first, the Heat, they had a little bit of a lead. They had a 23-10 lead around the third minute of the first quarter. And then the Lakers, they ended up going on a 71 to 70-31 run by the Lakers. Lakers run ended up being a little bit more, but then the game was over really. The game was over by, pretty much, I would say, the first half. They were up by, it was 65-48, right? So they were up by 17. So the game wasn't totally over, but, look, I'm going to try to take some positives for the Heat in this game. Now, look, first thing, Lakers are going to shoot like that in the first half for the rest of the series, unless they get really open shots. They might, but I doubt that they shoot that hot from the rest of the series. But I do think the Lakers are going to shoot statistically very well from 3 in this series, just because I don't really see the adjustment here. I don't know how, especially with Bam. It's questionable when he's going to come back. Actually, again, as I said, came negative, so maybe all right, but I don't know Yeah, I don't know what the adjustment here for AD or LeBron. LeBron's stat line real quick was 9 of 17 from the floor, 2 of 4 from 3, 5 of 6 from the free throw line, 13 rebounds, 9 assists, 1 steal, plus 10, 25 points. He was like 3 of 7 in the first half, but he had like 6 assists, 7 assists by the middle of the second quarter, something like that. So I mean, he was still passing the ball a lot, which is pretty good. But I mean, definitely gonna work on. I mean, his shooting was pretty bad in the first quarter of this game. There's been a lot of, or actually, no, let's not go there. Actually, let's go to Kendrick Nunn. I thought he was playing garbage minutes. But I thought he played moderately well, and I think you could probably see him in Game 2 of the series, especially because I think there are going to be a lot of adjustments from the Heat in this game. And, I mean, Goran Dragic's going to be out also, so, I mean, that would make sense. Kendrick Nunn would probably play a lot of minutes. Or he's not going to play a lot of minutes, he's probably play some minutes in rotation. Some, this is going to play like 10, 15 minutes. I don't know. Yeah, 10, 15 is probably around that range. Maybe plays 20. I mean, he played 20 tonight, but that was garbage minutes. But yeah, I mean, what he was doing a lot, they were getting a lot of pick and rolls with him, and he was able to get some good shots and set up some good open shots for his teammates. And he was 8-11, 2 of 4 from 3, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, plus 8 on the plus-minus scale, and 18 points. But take in mind, all of that was in the third quarter of this, or beyond the third quarter of this game. I think he checked in, he checked in the the third, 6 minutes in. Something like that. So yeah. Some good news for the Heat, I guess. Jay Crowder shot pretty well from the floor from tonight. Especially in the first half, or the first quarter, I should say. Especially when they made that run, there was 3 of 3. He ended up being 4 of 7 for the field, pretty good. Yeah. I mean, that's really all I got. Actually, I got Duncan Robinson. Ooh. I don't know how they're going to have to get rid of that zone, because when he gets switched on LeBron, he can't defend them. Same with AD. He didn't get really switched on AD a lot in this game, but I mean, in a zone that's destined to happen. So yeah, I don't know how they're going to be able to play the zone unless they just play all wing guys, because I mean, they gave Derrick Jones. It was weird. They gave Derrick Jones the first quarter minutes, the late first quarter minutes, 3 minutes left in the first quarter. Nobody was injured. All that stuff. There's nobody injured at that point of the game. So I mean, it was kind of out of the blue. Because he usually doesn't get playoff minutes. He got playoff minutes in the Milwaukee series, but that's because Iggy was a little bit injured in the third, and then I think he came back, something like that. But yeah, I mean, it really does seem like the Heat might have to play a lot of wings in this series, and I think that's playing to the Lakers' advantage. I think that will probably, and if they have to continue to play wings in the series, if they have to continue to play Derrick Jones in this series a lot, that probably will lead to a Lakers sweep. But yeah, I mean, that's really it. It's not worth doing the individual, how they shot for 3, how they shot for 2, just because the shooting stats were a little bit weird in this game. The Heat actually outscored the Lakers in the fourth quarter. That was just because the Lakers weren't trying. They were up by 20. No, they were up by 32 at the beginning of the fourth, and they ended up only winning by 16. No, 18. Excuse me. But yeah, I mean, that's really it. So yeah, that's all I really got. Yeah, I mean, there was no free throw disparity. I mean, actually, it was pretty much, it was 13 free throw disparity. Actually, one thing I want to touch on, the Lakers were actually perfect from free throw, which is actually kind of interesting for them. Just because, I mean, they have a little bit of free throw trouble. AD was 10 of 10 tonight. LeBron James, 5 of 6. Dwight Howard was 2 of 2. Carl Pope was 5 of 5. Rondo was 2 of 2. Rondo was actually really good in this game. He had 4 assists tonight. He was 2 of 7, which is not great shooting. 1 of 5 from 3. Like I said, in the second half of this game, Lakers did not shoot well from 3. It was kind of regress back to the mean of averages, the law of averages for the Lakers when they shot really well in the first. And that's not really how it works, but yeah, I guess. But yeah, Rondo setting up the ball, especially. I mean, it really does seem like Rondo can hit the jumpers, especially the mid range, which is really important because his passing ability, he had 4 assists tonight, as I said before, plus 11. His passing ability is otherworldly, and if he can, make a defender guard him actually without give him some space, that's huge. Just because it's easier to make a pass when to have to guard you on defense. But yeah, I mean that's really all I got in this video. I mean this video is a little. In this game. That's really all I got. A couple notes before I get into like and subscribe, watch other videos. I might have said that I might be reacting to Yankees baseball games, playoff baseball games. I'm not gonna do that just because I'm more of a casual baseball fan. But yeah, that's really it. Like and subscribe and watch other videos. Cool.